Hello! In this session, we've prepared the top 10 JavaScript interview questions for junior developers. You can pause before each answer to think about your own response. Here's some quick advice before we start. Be prepared for company-specific questions too. Understand concepts deeply. Don't just memorize. Pause and think about your answer before hearing ours. Practice coding. Interviews often include practical tests. And let's go. Here's the first question. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a versatile, high-level, and interpreted programming language that has become an integral part of modern web development. Primarily utilized for client-side scripting, JavaScript empowers developers to create dynamic and interactive web applications. Its ability to manipulate the document object model, DOM, allows for real-time updates to web page content without requiring a page reload. JavaScript's event-driven nature enables developers to respond to user actions, such as clicks or form submissions, creating a more engaging user experience. Furthermore, with the advent of Node.js, JavaScript has extended its reach to server-side programming, making it a full-stack language. Its extensive ecosystem of libraries and frameworks, coupled with its ease of learning, has contributed to its widespread adoption in the development community. And second question. 2. Explain the difference between let, const, and var. Let, const, and var are all used for variable declaration in JavaScript, but they have important differences. 1. Let, introduced in ES6, ECMAScript 2015, let allows you to declare block-scoped variables. These variables can be reassigned within their scope, but cannot be redeclared in the same scope. Let provides better control over variable scope, helping to prevent unintended variable leaks and making code more predictable. 2. Const. Also introduced in ES6, const is used to declare variables that won't be reassigned. Like let, const is block-scoped. However, it's important to note that while const prevents reassignment of the variable itself, it doesn't make the value immutable if it's an object or array. 3. var. The original way to declare variables in JavaScript, var is function-scoped or globally scoped. Variables declared with var can be redeclared and updated within their scope. Due to its function scope and hoisting behavior, var can sometimes lead to unexpected results, which is why modern JavaScript often prefers let and const for more predictable behavior. Using let and const over var is generally recommended in modern JavaScript development for better code organization and fewer potential bugs related to variable scope and reassignment. Third question. What is closure in JavaScript? A closure is a fundamental concept in JavaScript that allows a function to access variables from its outer enclosing lexical scope, even after the outer function has finished executing. This creates a closure around those variables, preserving them for later use. Here's a breakdown of how closures work. 1. Inner function. A closure is created when you define a function inside another function. 2. Lexical scope. The inner function has access to variables in its own scope, in the outer function's scope, and in the global scope. 3. Persistence. Even after the outer function has returned, the inner function retains access to the outer function's variables. 4th, data privacy. Closures can be used to create private variables and functions, as the enclosed variables are only accessible through the returned function. Closures are powerful because they allow for data encapsulation and the creation of function factories. They're commonly used in JavaScript for implementing data privacy, creating module patterns, and in functional programming techniques. Understanding closures is crucial for JavaScript developers as they are frequently used in various programming patterns and are a key feature of the language. 4. Explain the concept of hoisting. Hoisting is an important concept in JavaScript that refers to the language's default behavior of moving variable and function declarations to the top of their respective scopes during the compilation phase, before the code is executed. This means that regardless of where variables and functions are declared in the code, they are treated as if they're declared at the beginning of their scope. For variables declared with var, only the declaration is hoisted, not the initialization. This can sometimes lead to unexpected behavior, as the variable exists but is undefined, until it's assigned a value in the code. For function declarations, the entire function is hoisted. It's important to note that hoisting behaves differently for let and const declarations introduced in ES6. While they are hoisted, they are not initialized and remain in the temporal dead zone until the point in the code where they are declared. Understanding hoisting is crucial for writing predictable JavaScript code and avoiding common pitfalls related to variable and function accessibility. What is the difference between double equals and tribal equals? Let's dive deeper into the difference between the double equals and triple equals operators in JavaScript. The equals equals operator, also known as the equality operator, performs type coercion before comparison. This means it will attempt to convert the operands to the same type before making the comparison. For example, if you compare a string 5 to the number 5 using equals equals, JavaScript will convert the string to a number before comparing, and the result will be true. On the other hand, the triple equals operator, often called the strict equality operator, compares both the value and the type of the operands without performing any type coercion. It will only return true if both the value and the type of the operands are identical. Using the same example, if you compare the string 5 to the number 5 using triple equals, the result will be false because although the values are the same, the types are different. Understanding this distinction is crucial for writing predictable and bug-free JavaScript code. While equals can sometimes be convenient, it can also lead to unexpected results due to its type coercion behavior. For this reason, many developers prefer to use triple equals in most situations to ensure more precise comparisons. 6. What is the purpose of the this keyword? The this keyword in JavaScript is a special identifier that refers to the current execution context. Its value is determined by how a function is called, not where it's defined. Here's how this changes according to the caller. 1. In global context, this refers to the global object, window in browsers, global in Node.js. 2. In object methods, this refers to the object that owns the method. 3. In simple function calls, this is undefined in strict mode or refers to the global object in non-strict mode. 4. In arrow functions, this retains the value of the enclosing lexical contexts this. 5. In event handlers, this typically refers to the element that triggered the event. 6. With call, apply, or bind, this is explicitly set to the provided value. Understanding how this changes is crucial for writing correct and predictable JavaScript code, especially when dealing with object-oriented programming and callback functions. 7. Explain prototypal inheritance. Prototypal inheritance is a fundamental concept in JavaScript that allows objects to inherit properties and methods from other objects. Here's a more comprehensive explanation. In JavaScript, every object has an internal link to another object called its prototype. When trying to access a property or method of an object, JavaScript first looks for it on the object itself. If not found, it looks up the prototype chain. This chain continues until it reaches an object with a null prototype, typically object prototype. This mechanism allows objects to inherit properties and methods from their prototypes, creating a chain of inheritance. Key aspects of prototypal inheritance. Objects can serve as prototypes for other objects, allowing for dynamic inheritance. The object create method can be used to create an object with a specific prototype. The multi-protosource property, though deprecated, and object.getPrototype of method can be used to access an object's prototype. Constructor functions and the new keyword also utilize prototypal inheritance under the hood. Prototypal inheritance is powerful because it allows for flexible and dynamic object relationships, which is a core feature of JavaScript's object-oriented programming model. 8. What is the event loop? The event loop is indeed a crucial mechanism in JavaScript that enables non-blocking operations in a single-threaded environment. Let me expand on this concept. JavaScript is single-threaded, meaning it can only execute one piece of code at a time. The event loop allows JavaScript to handle asynchronous operations, like I/O timers or promises, without blocking the main thread. It works by continuously checking the call stack and the callback queue. If the call stack is empty, it takes the first task from the callback queue and pushes it onto the call stack for execution. If the call stack is not empty, it waits until it becomes empty. This process allows JavaScript to handle multiple operations concurrently, even though it's executing only one at a time. The event loop is what makes JavaScript suitable for handling many simultaneous connections in server-side environments, like Node.js, and responsive user interfaces in browsers. Understanding the event loop is crucial for writing efficient, non-blocking JavaScript code, especially when dealing with asynchronous operations. 9. What are arrow functions? Arrow functions are a concise way to write function expressions in JavaScript. They provide a shorter syntax compared to traditional function expressions. One key feature of arrow functions is that they do not bind their own this value, instead inheriting it from the enclosing scope. This makes them particularly useful in certain contexts, such as when working with callbacks or methods that require preserving the lexical scope. 10th and the last for this session question is, explain async await. Async/await is a powerful feature in JavaScript for handling asynchronous operations in a more synchronous-looking manner. Here's a more comprehensive explanation. Async await is built on top of promises, providing a cleaner syntax for working with asynchronous code. The async keyword is used to define an asynchronous function. This function automatically returns a promise. Inside an async function, you can use the await keyword before a promise. This pauses the execution of the function until the promise is resolved. Await can only be used inside an async function. This syntax allows you to write asynchronous code that looks and behaves more like synchronous code, making it easier to read and maintain. Async await helps avoid callback hell and makes error handling more straightforward through the use of try-catch blocks. By using async await, developers can write more readable and maintainable code when dealing with complex asynchronous operations, such as API calls or file operations. While these 10 questions cover many important JavaScript concepts, keep in mind that there are many other topics that could come up in an interview. However, understanding these core concepts will provide you with a solid foundation to tackle more complex questions. Remember, each concept you learn helps you understand others better. JavaScript's various features and paradigms are often interconnected, so mastering these fundamentals will give you a significant advantage in your interview and future development work. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more programming tips and interview preparation content. Your support helps us create more valuable resources for the developer community. Thanks for watching, and best of luck with your JavaScript interviews.